Okay, so welcome again to the building community and the changing climate. And I was going to share before I click off here. And what we have is program of the Interfaith Climate Group, Baha'i inspired. We've been in existence since 2013 after taking a course from the Baha'i National Center's Wilmette Institute on climate change that really put it into a spiritual perspective that if this is a spiritual endeavor, enterprise that we are working on and learning to come together to work on these global issues. And so the climate is one, we're doing our best to build community in a changing climate. Co-sponsor of this is the Baha'is of Alachua County, and we're doing this as part of the Florida Climate Conversation to Action program. And we've completed the first session, which was from October to May of 20 and 21. And we'll be doing a community-wide climate conversation starting in August. So what we'll do today is share some words from the world's wisdom traditions. And we will then have our little climate conversation to action portion of this. So I'll start, and what I'd like to do is have Loana, why don't you start and Jane follow, and then John, and then Farhang. And if we could just go in that order, I'll start with the prayer, and then there'll be readings from the world's religions and wisdom traditions for the Golden Rule, which runs through all of them. O Lord, gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. May they drink from the same fountain. May they be refreshed by the same breeze. May they receive illumination from the same source of light. Thou art the giver, the merciful, the omnipotent.
Always treat others as they themselves wish to be treated.
Whatever is disagreeable to yourself, do not do unto others.
What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Judaism.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Christianity.
Lawana?
Can't hear you.
I'll read this one. Be kind to your neighbor, and you will be a believer. Love for the people what you love for yourself, and you will be a Muslim.
Do not wrong or hate your neighbor, for it is not he who you wrong, but yourself. Native American.
If I can read one.
Yes, thank you.
And if thine eyes be turned towards justice, choose thou for thy neighbor that which thou choosest for thyself.
O my God, O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. A high faith.
Thank you all. So now we want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with this community-wide climate justice conversation, that we are bringing in all of the issues that you mentioned earlier, the health, certainly the racial justice, and climate as almost a symptom of the illness of disunity that is affecting our civilization at this time. If we begin to see ourselves as a global civilization and we're learning how to come into that reality, it helps to get a little more mature way of looking at this. So what we're doing is focusing on Alachua County in the year 21-22. As I said, we'll be starting with the school year in August and going right through April, which is Earth Day. And well, we have stops along the way. We call our collaborative storytelling adventure On the Road to 2030, 2050, and beyond. And so each year we'll be going through the same sequence of activities that go through the year. And our program is really based on the Earth Charter, which is a statement of ethical principles and values for a sustainable, just, and peaceful future. And this is the preamble, the opening words. We stand at a critical moment in Earth's history, a time when humanity must choose its future. As the world becomes increasingly interdependent and fragile, the future at once holds great peril and great promise. To move forward, we must recognize that in the midst of a magnificent diversity of cultures and life forms, we are one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny. So we're out to help the children understand that we are one and we can do this together and make a world that works for all. So this is coming from We the World, an organization that I'm working with. And this is how they're asking the children to express their own concerns and their hopes. And so I'd like you to listen to the children.
Attention! Attention! Can I have your attention, please?
It's urgent!
Urgent!
It's urgent! This is
An urgent message
from your children!
I feel really scared. The environment is kind of just getting torn apart. There's pollution, global warming, and people are just not caring about it. Nature is getting destroyed. I mean, there's a bunch of logging, there's water pollution, there's air pollution. I'm really concerned about fracking because then we'll have no good water to drink.
Pipelines with gas inside, they can also explode.
And some people are throwing garbage in the ocean that makes the ocean polluted. So animals are also getting sick and can die out there. If animals are getting extinct, one day we're gonna get extinct if you don't stop. This makes me feel mad. It makes me feel upset. I think it's terrible. I feel ashamed because so far very few people are doing something about it. We will all be sad because we don't have anywhere else to live.
I'm worried that this generation will be ruined and there will be nothing left for the next generation.
If this keeps going, well, the whole world is really gonna collapse. Just give me a minute, please.
If we don't stop this, it will lead to a global disaster or even the destruction of Earth.
If we destroy all of this, then we'll have no other planet to live on. People act like it's nothing and it won't affect them, but soon it will.
Sometime in the future, I may be dead, I may not. It's going to affect us all in some horrible way. And so if we do something now, then maybe we can stop that from happening.
I would want to do something about it, though the people who really have that power don't really care.
It's not like there's an unstoppable force doing this to us. We can choose not to, do this to the planet and the environment.
I want to live in a world where children can look out the window and not see a sea of sadness, but somewhere where things thrive.
We're probably gonna have to, evolve.
So that is our message from the children. And I'd like to hear your response to that, maybe your own concerns and your hopes, what you would like to see happen. And I'd like to say welcome to Tarne. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Who would like to begin? Oh, we lost Luana. Yes, John.
I hate to be the first to stand up, so to speak, but as no one else has, I'll start off. The first thing is, and I think it's been mentioned in our Baha'i community, I hope one result from these meetings is that we provide members of the community as much as possible what they can do in their individual lives to help with the environmental issue and the climate issue specifically. So that is one thing I would like to see evolve from this, a list of specific things which will help us defend the natural environment and contribute to the climate issue.
Okay.
The second issue is, I have grandchildren in England, and I would love them to see that that piece you've just done by the children. If you could send it to me, or if I could give you their address, I would appreciate it very much. I would like
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I would love to do that. And we do have children's groups beginning, and it would be great if they were interested to join us. So we'll share information about that. Who else would like to respond?
I think it's a good beginning when children learn that and teach in schools, and they can influence their parents, because some of them said the elders don't show care or they don't express it. So that would be another way of doing it.
Yeah.
Having them take it home.
Good. And that's our intention. Yes, it's to help the children get a voice. Actually, the second half of that video says that they want to get 1 million children to raise their voices, and they give directions about how to post a video on the website. And so that would become part of our climate conversation that we're promoting in Alachua County. And we are working with the schools. And John, I'm going to ask Helen, when we're done with this round, to say a little bit about a program that we have that does exactly what you're asking for. So who else? How about Jane?
Yeah, it's wonderful to see what what we're trying to do. And I'm glad to hear that there's a children's program, and it looked very diverse as well. I was really glad to see that. And the age group that is, probably the youngest that you can get, right there, that we're very cognizant of what the issues are. They sounded very like they're aware, they know.
Yes.
So we should be getting ready to listen to them.
Yes.
And I'm excited to hear that this is going on. Thank you.
Great. And yeah, we are really excited about the possibility. We have one family that has kind of grabbed onto this. I met them through the Earth Charter. They were on, as children, on a global call for the 20th anniversary of the Earth Charter, and speaking on behalf of the children of the world, please include the children in your climate action plans. And so that's what we're trying to do. Taranite, did you want to add anything?
When I saw these young children presenting so beautifully, since they are our future, the future of our world, we won't be there. That's their future, and they are our future of our world. So the only way, by taking care of this environment, is that to show our love beyond just saying I love the kids, my kids, your kids, or anything like that, to act upon it and be proactive, step forward and do and follow what they just said in that presentation. So then that connection will give them energy and the environment, the positive energy we need to save the climate.
Yeah, thank you. And Helen.
Yeah, I keep putting myself on mute because the dog's in a barking mood today. So was it the Eco Challenge that you were referring to?
Yeah,
that we have something going on?
I think John would appreciate knowing about the Eco Challenge.
Yeah, I don't have it pulled up on my phone to be able to share that, but I did take a book to a neighbor who we got into a conversation. And I think that's how we need to focus on spreading the interest to engage people. And I will say we've got to get better at reaching out to bring more people in. I just today started thinking about kids in our neighborhood to connect them. And of course, I got to go through their parents, but I'd like that link for the website. But the Eco Challenge is set up in a way that it's been going on for more than 20 years. And Jennison
Cersei. Yep.
Yeah, had brought that to us because it had been something that she was doing with IFAS. And it's broken down into topics when we think about climate change and all these other conversations that have reached a global forefront. They're all connected. To take care of the climate, we have to treat it with better respect. To take care of social disparity, we need to treat each person with better respect. So the Eco Challenge is set up that allows an individual to look at a dashboard that you can select activities to do, to learn more about what can be done to help develop a community that will be that resilient strength needed. And it addresses issues of food waste, your carbon footprint, electrification of anything that's gas powered, and human relationships with social disparities. So as adults, if you're sharing this conversation with another person and they're just like, I'm overwhelmed, I can't take on another thing, try to come back around to saying, well, let's just look at what you're doing already. And then to be able to have this template that we could work with the Girl Scouts and the classrooms and have them challenge each other, just challenge themselves. But last night I had one of those dreams where I was drowning in my own shit, literally, and we had a yard sale yesterday. I didn't get rid of much, and I have to get rid of this stuff. But how we deal with waste is one of those big problems. You know, our food waste creates a methane gas. So these topics, I'm speaking to the choir, but the Eco Challenge provides a tool in that conversation piece that we can have with others. The Earth Charter is another one. And then today I'm seeing that, Sue, you had included a link to Green Faith. And as I'm looking at that, there's a very similar breakdown of topics. So to me, to get ready for September and August, we need to build our resources of individuals who are reaching out to people in the community, and we have to grow this conversation that we're having here on Sundays. And I could go on and on with that, but
Yeah.
that
Well,
is.
I thank you. And I wanted to add that the Eco Challenge, you know, is a platform online. And so it's not for everyone.
Right.
But it's done in a game format so that you can set it up almost like a challenge. And our goal, because we're doing this as a county-wide demonstration in this coming school year of how you can engage the schools and the businesses and the faith organizations to become part of this team. And we would be Team Alachua County. And I think we can break it down if you want to do Team Baha'i and Team, you know, B'nai Israel or wherever, that we could do it that way. But it's basically a collaborative kind of cooperative game that helps people to work together and kind of see who can do the best to do the most good for the world. And it's a healthy co-opetition is what we call it. And so especially in the schools, and I am working with people in the district level, having conversations anyway. We haven't got any specific plans yet, but this is one tool we can offer for helping people to understand specific steps they can take on a daily basis, and also a one-time. Our climate conversation is designed to support people, share climate stories, tell what you're doing, listen to what others are doing, and be able to build on that, find people that you would like to work with. All of that is part of this climate conversation to action program. So let me continue with this. Go to the next part. So we did, what are your concerns and hopes? And I mentioned that we have some children. Here are three of them. One is Joanne Schwandis's granddaughter. And so she's involved, as is Joanne. And in fact, Joanne helped us to, we have several meetings during the week. It's not just this one. And this is the faith-based one, but there are others for the children, for the youth, and for the adults and elders. And so all of that is building and growing. But as I said, we have the children here. Oh, but what I did want to say, now that it's all Baha'is here, is that Joanne Schwandes, in our what we call Crafting Our Climate Story workshop that we do on Tuesdays, she told the story of our 1992 Holy Year event, that when it was the centenary of the oh, we're not all Baha'is here. So let me explain. We had the centenary of the ascension of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. And the Baha'is all over the world were asked to do something special in their community. And here in Gainesville, the Baha'is started with just a core group of a few people. I think it was 2 or 3 began the whole thing and said, so what could we do as a fitting celebration for this occasion? And they decided on the a celebration of the essential unity of humankind, I think was the phrasing wording of it. And she described, and I have transcribed now, the step by step that they did. And the bottom line, and we celebrated with a community-wide, it's basically what we're trying to do now, is to get all kinds of people involved in the celebration that we can do in September with, we have 11 days of global unity that I'm involved with for We the World. In January for Martin Luther King month, and there's a lot going on. Zoom conversations like this one that happen day after day after day during the whole month, all related to Martin Luther King's teachings, which includes everything, you know, all of the social and really environmental justice issues. So that's in January. And then of course in April, we have Earth Day. And so our goal is to have these children help to write the story that we will act out with music in a Zoom-based musical production. And I think it will be quite fun, and I hope it comes as beautifully as I can imagine it. So that's what we've got there. So those are called Tomorrow's Dreamers, the children, youth, adults, and elders who are working together on this. And we work together on the Golden Rule, the Earth Charter, the Sustainable Development Goals. And now I'd like to add the Green Faith 10 Moral Demands. And I want to show you what that looks like. This is an organization called Green Faith. We are part of a global multi-faith environmental alliance called Green Faith International. We stand for equality and against injustice. We believe in reverence and compassion for all life. We motivate people of faith to lead by example. We call upon our leaders to safeguard our future. And they have these 10 moral demands, and they include energy, finance, employment, self-determination, hospitality, restoration, biodiversity, divestment, reparation, and community. And this is especially appropriate for building community in a changing climate. And it calls for bold faith community leadership, sustained, united action, guided by the teachings of our diverse religions, ushering in an equitable, peaceful life for all. And so just this language, I think, is helpful for reaching out to people of different faiths to find a way to participate in what should be a very robust way of working together to the children's story is to make the world work for 100% of humanity and the community of life on Earth. And so it's something that the adults and elders can help the children and youth to do, but we want them to be the ones that lead this action. So I'm looking at the Green Faith Circle as a tool for our Interfaith Climate Group, that it gives kind of a framework using that language that we just talked about. And they have a program that we would give us support in doing this community-wide climate conversation and helping us to reach out to the others in our community as part of the global community. And so there is an application, which if anybody has any concerns or objections, we'd like to talk about it. But let me just show you the kind of thing that we're hoping that the children will be able to express in our community for our community by April for Earth Day.
Kids rule the world right now. You are exactly
Oh,
what I was hoping we would find this year.
I can't zoom it forward. Oh, it's you don't want to watch the whole thing. There's a part, I can't make it zoom forward so I can get to the 1 minute place. But basically it's these beautiful children singing a song about taking care of the earth and asking, I think it's called SOS for the earth. And yeah, so that's, sorry, I didn't do that properly. Here we go. Yeah, so that's about it. We're building community in a changing climate. And again, it is a pilot project coming from We the World and the University of Florida. And this little interfaith piece is a part of this community-wide climate conversation. And I feel like it's the heart and soul. And we can appeal to people of faith, especially who are just feel the moral mandate to care for all of creation. So that's my thing. And any comments on all of that? John?
So that Green Faith list, the 10 principles, is there any way we can get that? I'd like to be able to.
Of course.
I don't remember it, you know. I need to see it in print.
Yes.
So is there a place we can go to where we can get it?
Yes, and I will send a follow-up email to with all of the resources that we're talking about here.
Great, thank you.
And we'll get you that list. I can think of one that was every time you mentioned that, and I've heard it several times and haven't really given you anything except we're doing this program. But there is a list that comes from a program called Climate Change is Elementary. And it's especially wonderful for elementary schools. And it gets the whole family involved and gives them a checklist for actually the way it works is he comes into the school, does a little section with each grade level and teaches them a little part of the song and dance and program. And at the end of the day, they put the whole thing together as a little program. And then he says, now you're gonna perform this again tonight. So be sure to get your parents to come so that you can be part of this because we need them to understand what this is. And when the parents came, he would give them a checklist, which is exactly what you're asking for. What can I as an individual in my own home do to help reduce, make a safer planet? And so I can get you that. And I'd like to show you a program we're talking about going into the schools. This is one program that the same fellow developed, and it has pages and pages of things that people can do. And it's all designed for families, again, at the elementary school level. So the kids can be doing the coloring part while the adults are looking at the rest of how to do all these things. So there's lots of resources out there. Again, the Eco Challenge is another good one that really just displays for you lots of actions, specific actions you can take. And so we're trying to get all those out, and let's start with our Baha'i community here. And Helen is from the United Church of Gainesville, and we'll do the same there. And we're trying to reach out beyond to other faith groups, especially. So how does that sound to you?
Right.
What kind of support do you think the Baha'i community and Helen, your church, could offer as a a part of this community-wide climate conversation.
At this point, to be able to get participation with the adult seminar, I had talked to a member of the seminar committee who helps select the different topics that come through. And they've been working on some other topics similar to climate change. The other thing is we have a really strong youth group. And I wonder how many other churches have that. So that would be, you know, both adults and youth participate in the conversation.
Good. And one thing that is possible is any faith group, you know, your church, our Baha'i community could become a green faith circle in itself. And that gives us all kinds of tools and resources that we can use. But for the youth especially, we want to get them engaged in the what we call the Earth Flash games. And it's we're looking at creating a game show that, and I'm talking again with the schools about doing this in the schools themselves as a they have TV studios where they have to do programming. And so we're talking about bringing some of this into the schools that way. Anyway, there's lots of possibilities. And the idea is each group needs to make its own action plan, or we can do collaborative action plans. And so we do have specific programs for action planning if anyone needs help with that. And especially young people, I think, will want to use some of those tools. So getting it organized and out there is such a challenge, and it's something I've been collecting these resources for years and dreaming up the story and imagining this really widespread conversation so that everybody would know what they wanted to do. That's the goal, is to just say, here are possibilities. What is it that your heart is attracted to? And we can help you to get to move along on that path so that we can make the world work for 100% of humanity and the community of life on earth. That's our goal. So the Baha'i teachings, all the Christian teachings, the Jewish teachings are all part of this. And that's what we try to do with the Golden Rule, is just kind of bring it together as something that we can do together. So that's what I'm about.
Okay, so if I wanted to bring in, like, what if I got some neighbors, if I tried to bring in some kids from my neighborhood?
Okay, why don't we, Helen and Jane, what I'd like to do is set up a time when we can get together with the youth. I can help them to understand a little of what this is, not so much maybe in a faith-based way, but the way we're doing it in the schools might be more appropriate. But anyway, we'll just get together and see what the kids would do. And again, it's very much like our the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program that we offer for like middle school kids. The Baha'is offer actually worldwide, is helping them to understand the spiritual principles and the teachings that help to transform us into this global civilization, and then to make their own action plans to decide what is important to be done in their community, in their neighborhood, and following that and helping them to do that. That's exactly what this program is designed to do.
So what I'd like to see with that, and Jane, thanks for stepping up to say that, I've reached out to a couple of the families in my neighborhood to do a similar thing. And I think it would be a stronger connection for the kids if we actually had a site and a location where the parents could come. And what I suggested to the father is that I would send him a link to We the World. And then Sue, if you've got that format, I can send him the video link that outlines the questions and what we would like the kids to say, see some of the videos we saw today of the kids. And I think that's what we need to build with this group that is here today, is to say, I will contact these families that I know to try to get, 5 children. Because it's not going to happen unless we take that step.
Okay.
And, that we need to make, this commitment that July will be that month of independence that we are working to build or something. But I've talked to some people who are members of different churches. The Greenhouse Church, for one, has a very active community. I reached out to somebody at the temple on 8th Avenue. I think it's Shalom.
Yes.
Okay. But that's the process I think we need to kick up,
Just
that we need to
one-on-one.
we need to go out and talk to those people to say, this is a conversation we're gearing up for August to be a kickoff, because it's not going to happen if it's not just going to, this video, while this video may be traveling around space in many different ways, God, however known, is requiring us as the messengers on foot to go out and actually make connections and commitments from people to participate in these conversations, which the dream is that once person has those conversations, they'll follow up with more action. So Jane, I'm definitely ready to get together with you, and let's locate a site and let's locate a date this week, maybe, if you're in town. And we could do it on phone too, but
well,
because I think that's one of the things with Zoom, is that Zoom has allowed us to get together in ways that we don't have to physically go in place.
you want to right now make a time?
Okay.
Can we, or we'll let the others go and then we could make a time. Anybody who wants to be part of this can stay on. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah. So.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Let me see schedule here.
So we'll say, let me say a quick prayer to send us off, and so Jane and Helen can stay and we'll find a date. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So, yeah. I think I'll do, it feels right to do the unity prayer again.
Okay.
Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. And may we cheer some hearts.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for being here today.
Well, thank you for your worldwide contribution to our world, to save it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Doing what we can. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. John, you want to stay and see if we can get something for your children too? Grandchildren?
Yes, I actually have another meeting I have to go to. So
Me too.
could you send me an email or something?
Yes, I will.
Maybe we can contact later.
Well,
sorry.
That's very good.
Too many things in.
I know. I know exactly where you're headed, and I'll be there shortly. Okay.
You're doing a great job. Wonderful.
Thank you, John.
So thank you.
Glad you're here.
Bye-bye, John. Nice seeing you again, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, so let's take a look at the calendar. Let's see here. I'm most open on Friday. you would probably like to get together before that, right?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Wednesday right now.
Wednesday would be all right.
So I would be available after 2 o'clock or before in the morning.
I'll be available after work, so it'll be about 5.
Okay,
Yeah, and then probably get something to eat. So maybe closer to 6.
Okay.
Why don't we say 6 o'clock? That works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, my day is full, so that works well.
and then Sue, would you set up the Zoom?
I will,
Okay.
Jane?
and I'll
Can I
send
get
that
your-
out.
Okay, Jane, could I get your phone number?
Yes. 352-445-0885.
445-0885.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and I'm same 352-214-7755. And we're saying 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And
Yeah.
Sue, would you send the link to the program for the recording of the children's messages?
I will.
So that I can contact some other kids, following up with those I talked with today?
Okay. So one thing I'd like you to know is that our children's group is meeting on Wednesdays at 10:30. And I will put all this into the email as well. And then our youth group is meeting on, we have 2 of them actually. One is Sunday at 10 in the morning and the other is Monday at 6. And so I'll include all that and kind of explain what each one is about.
Okay, and how many people do you have in it? Because I'll try to see if I could round up some kids to do one of those meetings maybe.
Yeah, so
And that's every
very,
Wednesday?
very few. We're just getting this one started. And the 3 little girls that you saw on that Zoom call are part of that.
Okay.
And we have not been able to get together. Everybody, things happen and somebody's traveling and it just has not taken off yet, but it will.
Right.
It will.
The youth
And
group Wednesday is what time, Sue?
Wednesday is 10:30.
Okay. All
And
right.
that's children. The youth
right.
is Sunday at 10 and Monday at 6. And I'll send all that in the email.
Okay. All right.
Great.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
here again, Jane, thanks for stepping up to say that.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
if you
Kelly.
know people who go to other churches, let's make that part of the conversation too, because maybe with you and me and Sue, if we can go and talk to people, I think, follow up with a phone call and then make an appointment to go and talk to whoever the leaders are, either the minister or the youth minister of a couple of churches. We gotta start getting some people to say, I will do it. And in the sales, we know it's probably 10 people we have to contact to get one yes.
Yeah, it's usually a bunch. Yeah.
Okay.
All
I don't
right.
mind asking, but it's easier if I've got a commitment and somebody to push me or go with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I hear you.
Awesome. I'm glad we got a date.
Yes.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a
Thank
good
you,
Sunday,
Sue.
you all.
You
Okay,
too.
you all too. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye
Sue.
now.
Thank
Bye.
you for being
Sue.
here.
Thank you. It's great, Sue.
Thanks, Jane.
Okay.